Good morning, everybody. Respected course directors, deputy commissioners, ZIT, Gwaliors, respected principals, KB number 1, Gwaliors, respected resource persons, online in service course for HMs, JIT Gwaliors, and all the headmaster and headmistresses from different regions of Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangatans. Today I am going to give my presentations on virtual online class or mobile learnings. Let us first know what is mobile learning. Mobile learnings or on-demand learnings means delivering learning contents on demand via mobile service like cell phones, laptops or iPhones wherever and whenever the learner has the times and desire to access it. So mobile learning is nothing but an online learning. And virtual classroom, what is virtual classroom? Virtual classroom is an online learning environment in which teacher and students interact with the technical tools provided by the softwares. Virtual classroom software is used by educational institutions to host classes remotely while maintaining the functionality available in the traditional classroom environment. So a virtual classrooms is a teaching and learning environment within a computers mediated communication systems. It consists of a set of group communication workspaces and facilities which are constructed in software. That means virtual classroom is nothing but a computer mediated communication systems and in software. So what is the need of virtual learning or virtual classrooms? So everyone know due to pandemic COVID-19 the country is in a lockdown situations. All the educational institutions now closed for an unlimited times. The learners and the teachers are not able to sit together in a classrooms. So real classroom is not possible. Real classroom transaction is not possible, and virtual classroom is the need and demand of the time. So in a virtual classrooms the teacher and the students both need some things, that is once they must needs a mobiles or a laptops, okay, or an iPads. Second, a lonely and quiet place. Third, network connectivity. And fourth, pen and copy. The students may write some things or the teacher may show some things by writing on pen and copies. Okay, this is not mostly necessary, but if required the students can write using pen and copies. So requirement here, the spelling mistake, REQUIREMENT. So you see the scopes of virtual classrooms. The teachers can conduct video counseling or video conferencing. They can take online meetings and presentations like Google Meeting or Google Classrooms. They can also take meeting and presentation side by side at a time. So what are the positive area? There are some positive area, many positive areas of online classes. First, locations. The students can learn from their home in any location. Nowadays the students and teachers both are locked down in their homes, so they can carry on, the teachers can carry on classes from their home and the students can access it from their home also. And it is flexible times. Students can participate at any times of the day or nights, and they have the time and the inclinations to assess it. And the third one is comfort. In a real classroom situation, what happens, there are a large number of students, so the students may not feel comfort, but in online classrooms the students feel relatively comfort and convenience at homes while taking the class. So there are some other positive area also. One is the overhead, that is the students can use its free times to revise the lessons or learning the lessons. So another one is shared workspace. Here the learning materials, the assignments, video can be shared between students and teachers, and also between students and students. They can communicate with each others. The participation opportunities more. All the students get equal opportunity to ask questions and make comments. So everyone can get chance to comments. And the negative areas, some negative areas are there. One is the equipment requirements. If the students have no mobiles or laptops or poor connectivity, then also they can't access to learns. In poor connectivity lag behind the interest of the students. And the third one is delayed feedbacks. face-to-face classroom, they get feedback immediately. If they ask questions, the immediately answer can be told to them. But in online classes, what happens, they get feedbacks in some cases immediately, but it's not possible always in a virtual classroom. They can feedback late. Okay, another one is textual skills. If the students are poor in reading and writings, they may assess less effectively to the class. And another one is technical skills. If the students are lack or the teachers are lack of skills in handling the mobiles and softwares, this may severely hamper the timely exchange of communications. So technical skills is mostly necessary. If the students or teachers, anyone is lacking technical skills, then it is very difficult to take the exchange the communication between student and teachers. So here the difference between the real classroom and the virtual classroom. Real classroom, speaking and listening one person at a time. The teacher talks, the students listens. There may be group discussions, but in virtual classroom they are typing and reading. Multi-language in which students actively participated as co-learners. But in real classroom, entire class must move at the same speed. But in virtual classroom, they go in their self space. So the teacher and students sit in the specified time and place in the specified periods. But in virtual classroom, it can be taken at any times, any place. And in real classroom, the socializing is inappropriate. The parents are not involved, but in video conferencing or virtual classroom, the parents can be involved in to help the students in understanding the concept. They can also see the material sent by the teachers. In real classroom, mostly individual assignment, but in virtual classroom, mostly group exercise and assignments events. Okay, so group activities can be done in real classroom but not in virtual classrooms. In real classroom, students take notes, but in virtual classroom they automatically complete transcript automatically saved and reviewable. It can review, they can see, they can revise in virtual classroom at any times for more than 2, 3, 4 times. So in real classroom, computer resource may be used, may not be used, but in video conferencing, computer resource is an integral part of the facility. Okay, so in virtual classroom, you can take class activities, group and individual learning activities, discussion can be taken, chat with students, parents and guests, quizzes and survey can be taken in virtual classrooms, homework activities can be given, can be shown. Okay, and assessment can be taken. Full online courses with modules of works, forums and synchronized chat session, all these can be done in virtual classroom. The students can give their submit their works, and the students can check and also resend the checked documents to the students. The quizzes can be taken in minimum, and the answer to the quizzes and also the results can be displayed just after completion of the quiz, which is not possible in real classroom. So in virtual classrooms, there are some softwares we are using: Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, Big Blue Buttons, NeuroSmarts. All these are softwares we are using Google Classrooms. And online class softwares, they are Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, G Suite, GoToMeeting, JoinMe, Zoom also. So we are using Google Meet mostly for taking the online class. Now there are, suppose a teacher wants to take online class, he has to plan for online class much before, make a plan, schedules and the planning of the chapters, then use existing resource and make sure just you see, record your lectures, don't stream them. That means record videos instead of set them to students so that they can watch in their own times. Record video much before the times and watch it again and again so that mistakes can be minimized. Then while you are recording your video, you show your face, and it will affect more effective than simple narrating the slide shows. So while you are taking video conferencing on any of the application like Google Meets, then also you show your faces. Okay, you just switch on your videos. Next, keep videos short. Videos longer than 50 minutes can cause issue of slow downloadings and learner distractions. So as far as possible, record 2 or 3 short videos. I have made so many videos on the chapters, how many squares, parts and wholes, and divided into videos of minimum of 10 minutes, maximum 10 minutes. So test out slides. Make sure your test slides on a smartphone before shooting your lectures, so that all text is readable in small screens. Font size, color, template, design, screen ratio can be doubly checked so that the students can assess it easily. Next one is use existing resources and make sure that they are open access. If the students can't open, then it will prevent them from learning. So use open resources. Using open resources help prevent access problem for the students. Next, give specific instructions. Appropriate instruction must be given to the students to save the times of the students. They can access quickly and readily. Next, provide interactive activities. Like there are many range of functions in the softwares to create interactions. So learning activities like quizzes. So step-by-step guides to create them are widely available online. So we should use them for better understanding and development of the students. Next, tips for better online teachings, they are set reasonable expectation. Another one is set reasonable expectations. When you create quizzes, you should make sure all questions can be answerable. By referring to the given learning resources, you just check it. Next, use auto checking measures of attendance. Attendance can be taken, okay, and grading features on the learning management systems to be used for this purpose. Next, use group communications carefully. Group communications should not be used for direct teaching. Instead, set up a video conferencing so that it may be the great way to collect students' feedbacks on your online teaching as well. Let students take controls. You can set up online group spaces for small groups of students so that they can save their interactions, save their comments, send their comments, and also send some materials related to it. Next, don't hide your feelings. If you are not so experts in mobile teachings or video lessons, so don't be hesitate in just don't hide your feelings. You just simply say that I am new to this. The students will feel better and also take interest if you show your feelings. Then repetition. Online students do not like frequent changes in their learning styles. They are happy to repeat the same structures and activities. Once you find a teaching style working for you, you just feel free to repeat it. Don't change it. Don't change it. So now I will show you a video lessons. I made many video lessons. So I can take a video class on how many squares in class 5th mathematics. So before taking any video lessons, you must make the plan. I have made a plan. I will show you plans and executes it within the time limits, so that and set the time and give earlier to the students to watch the video, so that when you are taking online video conferencing, you can communicate the students and also check whether they have understand it or not. So before making any video lesson, you must plan accordingly and also give sufficient time to the students so that everyone can just aware about it and also ask problems related to this. You must share the link to the each and every students. So in our schools, every teachers are making video lessons along with online classrooms. they are making the lesson plans in such a way that they are writing the summary, okay, and also the homework in the lesson plans. After the online teaching in Google Meets, just after the end of the teaching, they are sharing the summary of the lessons and also the uh, homework to them, either on WhatsApp and also in Google Classroom, so that the students who are unable to join the Google Meets, they can also see it later and understand it by looking the summary, the homework, and also the uh, online video that is shared to the students. So I am now showing you one video lessons on how many squares I made. I have divided it into 8 to 9 parts, and uh, this is just part 1, and one part 2 I am just linking the video to you. Okay, after taking the video class, the teacher must take the attendance, and the attendance is just uh, in the Google Sheets provided by the uh, schools. Every teacher must note down the attendance of the students, take the attendance of the students and note down it in the Google Sheet after the class. They also note down the subject, the topics, how many students attended, and the platform used in the Google Sheets. They also share the name of the students who are absent. They are telephonically calls why they are absent, and this is also messages to the in the Google Classroom formats. Now just move to the slides for video lessons.